my cute demons, hello. Today we're gonna do something really different for this channel, and I got my kids in the ears today for this. Today we're going to react to Pewdiepie. Yeah. I'm stepping out of my usual boundaries of YouTubers. Yeah. So Pewdiepie has been in Japan for a year. And I want to see I like how you will rate Japan. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I have been living in Japan for 10 years. So we'll see if I agree or disagree with his takes. So yeah. There you go. So there's the setup. As usual, go watch a video if you're interested. And yeah, let's get into the reaction. Hello Pewdiepie, hello.
Japan review.
I love that it does it for like meme reviews.
It's been a year since I moved to Japan, and I thought it made sense to finally rate Japan. I will talk about.
I haven't done that.
And the things I don't like. Which seems to be the only two options available if you have opinions about this country.
Yeah, it is.
It's so sugoi. Or
he's right, people do that.
Really bad. It's got a lot of societal issues. Okay, I will list
that is true.
One bad thing, and I will not hold back. There's no trash bins.
Yeah.
Where am I gonna put my trash?
Actually, there's a little bit more, but yeah, there's often none.
Put it in my pocket.
Yeah, you put it in your bag. You bring it back home.
There's always these generic things that you hear.
There's some in the station sometimes.
It's kind of weird, but then you realize it's not a big deal. Anyway, let's start off with number one reason I like Japan. It feels like a giant playground. No, I don't mean in the Logan Paul kind of sense of doing whatever the hell you want.
Thank you for saying that.
But rather, there's infinite things, or at least it feels like, to explore and experience.
He's right. He's right.
I've been here a year now, and I don't think I'm gonna get bored anytime soon.
He's right. I've been here for 10 years,
so I don't know how much
and
more I have time to experience. But it
I've
really
been
feels like a whole new world, and
he's right.
if you visit
there's
it,
a lot
you
to
can
see.
probably relate to it. And I'm glad that even a year in, it still feels incredibly fresh. And I even would say that you realize that the best part of Japan aren't the touristy places. Yeah. Kind of obviously, but
exactly.
There's so many areas that I found that I really enjoy visiting, and this is probably more specific to me.
He's right.
You know, Tokyo is very busy, and
I don't live in Tokyo, so I don't know about Tokyo, but
what feels like hundreds of people, and they have no idea who I am.
That's true.
Everyone is just doing their own thing.
But then again, I'm a VTuber, so nobody knows who I am.
No one's staring at me. No one's following me.
Yeah, that's only related to him.
You guys are weird. I'm just kidding. I just love the feeling of being able to exist in public. And
yeah,
not worrying about.
I think that's a PewDiePie thing because
like I said this before, but
that's a PewDiePie thing, right? Because he's famous and people are probably like really weird to him. Being a VTuber is one of the things that I really like about like being a VTuber is that you stay anonymous, right? You guys don't know what I look like, or some of you do. But yeah, it's like do I have pink hair in real life? You don't know. Actually, I'm the same in real life. I'm the same. I'm an anime girl in real life. Yeah. I'm an anime girl in real life. But yeah, he's completely true. It like what he says about like being in a playground is a little bit weird, like the way he says it, but it is true. There's like always a lot of things, different things to do. And sometimes like I go walking like either near my place or I go like to a concert, and then I decide like to just like walk around like after the concert, or like I just go for a walk like in the city for a while, and like I turn like many years ago I was with a friend from France, and we were walking around like a different city from where I live right now, but like we were walking down the street, and then we just turned around in a small like what looked like an alleyway, but there was like a little shop that made like um I don't remember the name of them, but like the little fish, the grilled fish with bean paste inside. And like we just turned and found this like a place that had them, and like the lady like who worked there was like she was so excited to see foreigners, and she was like trying to practice her English with us, and like she gave us some like rice wine to drink for free and stuff, and was like sometimes you'll just turn a corner because you're just, well, I'll just go this way, and then there's a secret shrine hidden somewhere in the middle of the city, like between you spotted between two buildings, and that you see like the gate, the mall, and then you go and like there's a beautiful shrines full of trees and stuff, like it's right in the middle of the city. There's one near my house behind a like a convenience store. So there's always things to do. And there's a lot of things that are hidden that people don't know about unless like you just get lost somewhere. So it really pays off to go around Japan and like not just stick to like big places that you think are going to be like that like big tourist attraction, but it pays to just like go around the city and like walk the street, like turn into like corners that you didn't think like, and you can find like really cool stuff.
Genuinely enjoy talking to fans or when people approach me. It always makes me happy, but it can be kind of frustrating to always wanting to just do
Yeah, I
your own
bet.
thing and always be, you know? So yeah, let's move on to the bad things of Japan. Number one reason Japan is bad. It's kind of a heavy subject, and I haven't seen anyone
I
else really
haven't
talk
seen
about
this.
it.
I don't know
It's
what
not
he's
brought
gonna
up very
say.
often, at least. And that is cones. There's too many cones in Japan. Once you see
There
it,
are.
you cannot unsee it. They're
There are.
everywhere. They say, oh, Japan has so many vending machines. There's like 5 per 1 person. No, the opposite. There's more cones than people. Why are there so many cones? I need to know. We got the tall ones.
Yeah.
We got the small ones. We got the funny ones.
Yeah.
The cute ones. The sexy ones. I do like those. I just don't understand. Did
Yeah.
whoever placed these cones think I'm just gonna barge through? Oh, thank God there's cones here. Otherwise, I had no idea what I was gonna.
There's cones
And
everywhere.
I
Yeah.
realized the cone history of Japan stretches centuries, okay? If you played Animal Crossing, sometimes, it's a Japanese game, so sometimes you get these items, right? And you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what that is. But it's probably something
It's for
Japanese.
usually
And then
it's
you
for
get the bandwidth
repairs.
thing, and you're like, what the hell is that? What am I even gonna do with that? And then you see it in real life here in Japan, and you're like, holy shit, it's a cone. That's a cone. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
I feel like they are following me. I'm glad I was able to talk about this. I'm for one.
They're
willing to
usually
call
like
out
to
Japan.
ward off
Knock it
against
off,
like
man.
going in
No more
certain.
cones. There's enough cones. Let me tell you something even better than cones. You may have noticed. New merch.
Okay,
Finally,
let's
it's
skip
been
the
forever.
merch. Let's skip the merch. Okay. Let's skip the merch drop. You guys can go see Pewdiepie if you want some of his merch. There are a lot of cones actually. There's usually a lot of cones like in areas where there's construction, but there's also cones like in a lot of places. There are. There are. And there's also like a lot of them that like have signs on them like saying no bicycles, and then everybody parks their bicycles around the cones that says no bicycles, and then after like a month or two, like when people get really mad, like they'll call a truck and then they'll come and pick up all the bikes.
Not in this color. That's. I know
Yeah.
you want this one. Yeah, I get it. So yeah, check that out if you're
Everybody-
interested. I'm so happy about these designs.
Like the bikes though, like there's signs everywhere that says no bike parking, and they're everywhere, and there's always a bicycle like parked like and hung on the sign. It's ridiculous.
And I hope you guys will like them as well. All right, reason number 2, I like Japan. Yay. When we first announced that we were gonna move to Japan, there was so many people just saying how bad Japan is. Actually, did you know Japan is really bad?
A lot of
Did you
people
know
say
this?
that, yeah.
I have to list all these reasons now because everyone is like, thing and then thing Japan. So
Yeah.
I have to tell them, and no, it's actually. But one thing in particular that people said was that old people really don't like foreigners.
That's
They
not
hate.
true.
So when I was gonna
That's not
stop by
true.
to say hi to our neighbors, who was a little
Especially
older,
old
at least some
ladies,
of
they
them,
love
I was
foreigners.
terrified. I heard
As
all
far
these
as
stories,
like,
you know?
as my
What are they gonna do
experience
to
go.
us? So I had my guard up, ready for the worst, and I was met with nothing but kindness and
They're so
welcoming,
kind, yeah.
and
He's
I
right.
felt like a total dick
They're
for
really
having preconceived
sweet.
ideas, thanks to other people. And
They're,
just a side
he's
comment,
right, he's right, he's right. Like, a lot of the times I've been like, waiting for the bus or something, and then there's these old ladies coming, and they just start talking to me as if like, oh, like I was just like a neighbor or something. But when I go out, my neighbors always like greet me. Um, in my old apartment before I lived here, there was an old lady living on the first floor, and she was the sweetest lady. She used to like every time she would see me go out, she would say, "Itterashai." If when I would come back, she would be, uh, "Okaeri nasai," and then she would invite me over for tea, and like I've never had like really bad social interaction with an older person in Japan. And like they're most of the time they're sweethearts. They're true sweethearts. So I don't understand where the like old people hate foreigners idea comes from.
like, yes, there are definitely probably people that don't like foreigners and all that
Probably.
stuff. But I realized I should let my
But
own experiences dictate how I feel about certain things. Maybe that's just ignoring a problem. I don't know. It just feels like it's a bad way to approach life if you always have a negative expectation. You know?
yeah.
It's smile
Yeah.
and people may smile back.
Yeah, he's right. He's right at that.
Smile back.
I smiled.
Sometimes they don't, and that's okay, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, my point being, Japanese people are very, in my own experience, are very
Kind.
nice and friendly.
They're very
the
kind,
majority,
yeah.
at
Most
least.
of them.
And yes, even to foreigners. I feel like they are especially nice to foreigners because they think we're like a kid lost at Disneyland or something.
Yeah, that does
I
happen.
just asked for directions. I didn't need you to
That
walk
does
me
happen.
for half an
Sometimes
hour
you
to the
don't.
specific place I was going, but thank you.
Yeah, sometimes you don't feel
A
ask
lot of
for
times I go bouldering alone, and there's
direction
always other
and
groups of people being supportive and yelling like "Ganbatte!" like "Go, you can do it." I love it. I think it's great.
yeah.
You know, or if you're small talking with people, people genuinely want to
Yeah,
communicate with you, and
they will try
I love having
talk
those
back.
moments. But of course, there's times where people are like, "Oh, you're a foreigner. I don't feel like even trying."
Yeah, that does happen too.
Which I get. It's fine.
I've got that.
Speaking of which, reason I don't like Japan number 2, the language. I have lived here for
Japanese
years
is
and I'm
hard.
not fluent in Japanese. I am dumb. I am very dumb.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah.
the moment we
So I've been here for 10 years and I'm still not like I'm still not like perfect. My Japanese is not perfect. ね、日本語は難しいなんです。日本語難しいんです。めちゃくちゃ。Japanese is really difficult. You have to like learn to read like 3 different alphabets. There's like hiragana, katakana, which are like the normal alphabets plus kanji. If you want to pass like N2 and like which is business level, you have to remember about 3,000 kanji if I'm not mistaken. N1 is actually really difficult. Some of Japanese people will say like or act like they will pass it, of course, but like they'll still fail some questions. So and a lot like when you tell Japanese people like Japanese is difficult, they're like, "Oh yeah, we know." Like even us, like we make mistakes and like we don't know all the kanji and it's not like it's like I'm not trying to make fun of anybody because Japanese is truly hard. It's truly difficult, and I think Japanese people often tell us that like I feel they tell us that like to make us feel better about like Japanese being difficult. But I also know that like Japanese is also difficult. Like sometimes there are some kanjis that they use that the younger generation don't use anymore, and like so like especially like in like some it's older Japanese and it's not used anymore. It's like some if you're speaking old English, for example, a lot of the younger generation would understand what you're saying. So there is also that in Japanese as well. But they expect us to learn it when we try to do the test. So yeah, it's yeah. Japanese is hard.
We moved here, I had studied some Japanese, and
Hmm.
I was like, let's test out this knowledge
難しい難し
that
い
I've acquired. Let's go. I'm just gonna come in.
Like I work
It's
in
gonna be
Japanese and
daijoubu.
I still don't have
And you
business
enter a
level.
store for the first time, and they're like, "Fukuro goryou desu ka?"
Do you need a bag?
What? いかばないですか? What? お支払い方法選びください. Oh, what? The classic,
how are
the
you
most
paying?
common experiences that you have aren't necessarily what you're taught in the textbook.
Yeah.
Yay, I know.
So
I think that's the same
what
for
he's saying is like when you go to the convenience store now, they'll first ask you if you want a bag. Then they'll ask you if you need like spoons or forks or if you're okay with chops chopsticks. Then they'll ask you for the payment method. It used to be most places didn't accept credit cards or place of any other form of payment except money. But because of COVID, a lot of stores now are using either credit cards are okay or and usually you just scan it. You don't even like slide it through. They use a lot of we use a lot of apps for money now. So, by example, PayPal has an app, but like here there's PayPay, there's Rakuten Pay, um, there's ePay, there's a bunch of like line pay as well. Like there's a lot of like payment apps. The one that I've seen that is used most often is PayPay. And yeah, so you can link either a credit card, a bank account, or just send the bill to your phone, and to your phone bill. So the money you're spending on like stuff is gonna go on your phone bill at the end of the month. So there's like a lot of different payment methods now, but it didn't used to be a thing like a few years ago.
anyone learning a language for the first time. But don't even get me started on the kanji, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Kanji is
I feel
hard.
like Japanese is such a hard language, obviously.
Yes.
But I don't think people realize how hard it is, at
It
least
is,
me
it is.
personally, because the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
English speakers, Japanese is considered one of the most difficult languages.
It is.
Because it's just so different. I listed it as bad because that was my first kind of experience with it coming here. But the more I interact with people, the more it feels like I'm unlocking new skills, you know? Oh, I made a phone call for the first time. Oh, I can
Phone
ask
calls
someone
are hard,
over the
man.
phone. I know, big deal, but it's like, oh, I can actually do that.
Actually,
or even just having a small.
I'm gonna pause it here. Phone calls are the worst. I dread phone calls. Having to speak Japanese in person is fine. Having to speak Japanese in a work meeting, I can do, but don't ask me to make a phone call in Japanese. Most of the people, because they have to be to speak like it's a very 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 politely. So it's a language. It's a kind of a different language than like normal Japanese. It's like at work I have to use like business level Japanese, right? But like when you talk on the phone, they have to be even politer than this. And like it's kind of they use words that I don't understand. So like I'm like, I'm a foreigner. I don't understand what you're saying. Can you say it in normal Japanese? And they just repeat it the same way because I don't think they're allowed to use normal Japanese when they speak to foreign to customers on the phone. So phone calls are so difficult. Um and I've been here for years, right? And I still can't handle phone calls at all. Like most of the time they talk to me, I'm like, すみません。もう一度言ってください。もう一度言ってくれませんか？わからない。え、どうしよう。ああ。So most of the time, yeah, I get really stuck with like what they're saying and I don't understand. And I get like I just freeze. I don't know. I don't know what to tell them. I'm like, please say it one more time. Slower and easier words, please. Ah, I hate phone calls.
Tiniest, shittiest conversation with a stranger, it's still something and it feels good.
Yeah.
You start to all of a sudden understand, a movie if you're watching.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
understand actually what's going on here. Or
That's how I felt
I
when
can
I
play
first
games
learned
and
English,
kind
actually.
of get what they're saying. I have to look up words, obviously, but to me, all those new experiences that it unlocks to me is very rewarding. Even
Yeah,
though it's
yeah,
such
yeah.
a challenge.
Living
I
abroad
would
is like.
actually now say it's a good thing. Ha! I played it on its head. It was a good thing all along.
Yeah.
But I was
Living abroad like unlocks a lot of skills that you wouldn't have learned if you were still like back home and you never tried to explore the world. You learn new language, you learn culture, you open your minds to different experiences. So yeah, and the Japanese language in itself is really, really, really difficult, but it also has like beautiful, beautiful imagery. By example, one of my favorite word is the word hanabi, hanabi, which is fireworks, right? Hanabi. And the word of hanabi, hana is flower, and bi is fire. So it's like fire flowers. So I really like a lot of the imagery that they use for Japanese words. So yeah,
obviously have a long fucking way to go.
yeah, me
And
too.
just, I don't think it would ever stop.
No,
Reason number 3, I like
it
Japan.
doesn't.
This has nothing to do with Japan
It
to
doesn't.
say.
There's
It's more
always new
related to
things to learn.
me taking a more relaxed approach to YouTube. For my entire 20s, I did nothing but YouTube.
That's
that was my
Pewdiepie
life,
thing, right?
and that's okay. But I also think it was a little toxic, probably. If I wasn't making videos, I
That's
sure
my
as hell
life
was thinking
now.
about making videos. I uploaded videos during our honeymoon.
That's my
And it
life
feels
now.
really good to finally be free from it, and I can discover other things in life. There are other things in life. New hobbies and interests that I've always wanted to do. I can do and have so much fun with it. Surfing, I know I would love for the longest time, and I finally get to do it, and it's
Surfing
so
is scary,
amazing. I love learning new things. Anything that
I haven't
isn't
gone to the beach in a
necessarily
long
connected
time. I
to
should
all
go.
of this on the internet, and that
Probably
is
like
something I'm
by
very,
the
very
end of the year.
grateful that I
It'd be
discovered.
cool.
So yeah, it's not really Japan. I could have done that anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's largely why I.
But I
enjoyed it so
can
much
understand
here.
why you
Reason
like.
I don't like Japan number
I
2.
can understand where he's coming from with that one because like that's how I've been like feeling for the last 2 years. Since I started being a VTuber, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So you guys can rest easy. I'll keep making content for you guys. Don't worry, I'm not going on a hiatus. I'm packing right now though. My room is full of boxes. I don't know where to walk anymore because there's boxes everywhere. I'm moving in a week. Ha! But yeah, I'm gonna be back after that and full time, man. The goal is to go full time, streaming and making content and stuff. Yeah. I want to talk to you guys about Japan more. I think. That would be. That's something I've always wanted to do. Like I would like to be able like to take a camera and like go places and like show you guys some places like across like Japan and stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to like record some videos, and I won't, I probably won't be able to stream because like if we encounter people we have to blur their faces because it's not really well, actually it's illegal to film people without their knowledge in Japan. So we won't be doing that. But yeah, I would like to show you guys some places. That would, I think that would be super nice.
3, this is probably the most trickiest one, and it's the rules.
Yeah, there is a lot of rules in Japan, yeah.
Japan has
Paperwork
so
is,
many rules.
yeah.
And it's a bit conflicting for me to complain about because a lot of the best stuff about Japan, not the best
Are
stuff,
the rules,
but
yeah.
a lot of the reasons why Japan works so well is because of the rules.
Yeah.
You know, the trains are always on time. Things just work in general.
The trains are always on time unless they're JR. The JR line is always late. I don't know what it is. The lines are probably weaker than the other kind of trains, but the JR line is always late. I was stuck at the station for 30 minutes today because no trains. The trains were stopped. So yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of rules in Japan. Like you don't throw your trash outside. You you wait in line for the, like, by example, if you're waiting for the train, you wait in line in certain areas, and like there's a spot in the middle that you can't stand in because that's for people deembark, like coming out of the train. When you walk, when you go through escalators, you stand on one side. I think most of Japan is on the left side, but in Osaka and like especially Osaka, you stand on the right side just to make it a little bit more confusing, right? So you have to remember when you're in Osaka, you have to stand on the right side. When you go outside of Osaka, you have to stand on the left side. Usually there's people in front of you, so you can just follow them, right? But yeah, there's a lot of rules. And what I like, I'm okay with that they're having rules because it's important for everyone to work and like to everything to work and be so like safe and like everything to work properly. However, the paperwork is a nightmare. Paperwork is a nightmare in Japan. If you have to go renew your visa, it takes a few times to go and it takes a long time, and there's a lot of paperwork that you have to file in, and other paperwork that you have to pick up at the city hall, and other paperwork that you have to do for this. And once you have done that paperwork and receive your visa, then you have to go to city hall to update your, like, if you have a my number card, which is like social security number, you have to go update that. You have to go update, like, if you move, you have to update your address to your old city hall and the new city hall. If you go, if you, like, there are so many paperworks to do all the time, and paperwork is difficult. If, by example, you were not working for a little while, you have to pay, um, you have to fill in paperwork to be able to pay um, health insurance and pension to the city hall, and then and once you find a job again, then you have to go to city hall, tell them that you have a new, like, you have a full-time job, and then you have like work insurance. So then they'll cut off your your government pension, the pension and health insurance, and you have to go to your to work, and then it's paperwork over paperwork over paperwork, and it's usually always all in Japanese, and it's difficult to do. I can't write kanji perfectly.
It's hard to explain.
I can't read
the
it
streets
either.
Are clean. People aren't loud in public, and so
Yeah,
on.
that's true.
And these are sort of
If you talk on a
rules
train,
that
people
make it
can come
happen,
and
more or
like
less.
yell at you.
But sometimes there are rules that just don't make any sense. And
Which one is he
I
gonna bring up?
have no problem following rules as long as I understand the reason for it, you know? Don't talk on the phone on the train because it's generally annoying when other people do that to you. A lot of it is just be thoughtful of other people.
Yeah.
It's not just about you. And that just makes it more pleasant for everyone.
Yeah.
But one rule, especially, which I talked about before, is the fact that because of COVID, I'm not allowed to be in the delivery room for our baby for more than 2 hours. That's because of COVID rules. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I tell people about this, like family and friends, and they're always like, well,
there's a lot of rules about,
like, why don't you talk to
we
them?
all,
Sure
we all still wear a mask, by the way.
Like, no.
Most people still wear
There are
masks.
Rules, and people follow the rules, for better or worse, you know? So the more time I spend here, the more time I encounter these sort of rules that, in my head, at least don't make sense. And I don't want to make it seem like I'm above it, or like, oh, I don't get it, so therefore I'm above it. But it's still really frustrating, I think. Because, yeah, rules exist for a reason, and even though the reason might not be obvious to you, they are usually there for some sort of practicality. I don't know. I'm just trying. I don't get it, man. So, lastly, the reason I like Japan. I feel like there should be a word for it. It's more of a feeling than anything, and it's could be happening at any point during the day. Maybe I'm riding a bicycle. It's sunny outside and surrounded by trees, and it's just pleasant in general. A warm wind hits your face, and you just sort of have that moment where it feels just so amazing. It feels like you're living a dream. It could be just walking my dogs, and then out in the distance, everything is clear, and you see Mount Fuji popping out. You know, I'm surfing, and the sun is setting, and it's turning the whole ocean to look pink, and it's just one of those moments where you feel like I'm living in a dream. I just feel like, how is this real? I don't even believe it myself, and I catch myself a lot in those kind of moments living here, and it's just a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I think so
Happy
too.
days.
I agree.
I feel really silly talking about it, because it's not like these things don't exist anywhere for anyone. It's not like, oh, Japan, but moving here, I feel like I definitely get those moments more often. It's not like I wasn't happy in UK or wherever, but I think just in general, it has changed me and my priorities and as a person to the better in a weird way.
I think moving
And
abroad
I realize
does that
a lot
to
of
somebody.
it is also very specific to me and my circumstance. I have
he's right.
the opportunity to not work as
yeah, I think he's right, because a lot of this is like specific to him, but it's also specific to other people, because like when you first move abroad, it broadens your horizon, I think. Like things that wouldn't have made you happy when, like, by example, when I was in Canada, and oops. You didn't hear anything. But like when I was where I used to be before, like, actually, I lived in Canada for a while, yeah. So like when I was in Canada, like, I was depressed, depressed most of the time, and I was dealing with a lot of like stuff, and I couldn't like really find happiness into anything. And after coming to Japan and my horizon kind of broadened, right? And I started learning new things, and like I was engrossed by everything, because um like cultural stuff, learning about new cultural things, and then learning about like the language, and like everything else. Like I'm someone who really thrive on like learning stuff, and like for me, like being in a new place was like really important, I think, because it brought me from like being, this is all I know, um the world, like where I live right now is the world. Like going abroad gives you different kind of sets of values, I guess. Like going abroad will open your eyes to new things, and because of that, your values may change. The way you see things may change. You might find small things, find happiness in like in small things that you didn't before. Like, and it does like open your eyes to certain things, I think, to travel. Like, you don't have to just live abroad. It does help to live abroad for a while, I think. Because when you travel, you go to just tourist spots and that's about it. For some people that's enough, but for some people I think moving abroad and living there for a while does open your mind on certain things and does change your yeah, your values and your like the way you see things. And I think that's kind of important. I think if I don't think I would be the same person if I never moved to Japan. Um, but yeah, and like you said, like sometimes like and like I said earlier, sometimes you just turn into like a corner and like you'll find a lot of different things that you wouldn't have found otherwise if you like didn't turn that corner. There's a lot of like things that just it doesn't apply only to Japan. It could be anywhere in the world. Like just moving or like going abroad for maybe a month, you'll find a lot of different things that will like turn yeah, you can find like the most beautiful things in the world. And I think that's kind of important. And especially the way the world is now. I like having a brother point of view sometimes does help. Um anyway, I'm going to politics and that's something I don't want to get into. Um although I'll add one more thing that I don't like about Japan. Dun dun dun. I'm gonna be a bit contrary. I'm gonna put something bad at the end. A lot of the old apartments, and maybe the new ones too, but like a lot of the older apartments, like the one I live in now, that I'm leaving soon, don't have grounding. um, there's just no grounding in the apartment, and especially in the summer, usually in July and September, no, July and August, there's a lot of thunderstorms. Like most days these days I have to turn off my computer just in case because when there's a thunderstorm and there's no grounding and you have a computer, yeah. My old computer actually fried because of a thunderstorm and no grounding. So yeah, that's one thing I really don't like about Japan. And it's just because a lot of the houses are really old and a lot of the foreigner friendly housing are like cheaper ones and like um because we don't all like have like a lot of money, you know. So a lot of us like when we're teachers and stuff, we live in like really small apartments, you know, that don't have that and that are really really old, and because they're really old, well, there's no grounding, and yeah, you have to be really careful with your PCs in the summer because there are storms every day, like there's thunder every day, and then in at the end of August and September it's typhoon season, and then in June, before that in June it's rainy season. So yeah, the summer is harsh. Is a little bit harsh in Japan. It's not like it's not the worst. We have beautiful days, but yeah, like a day can be like beautiful, beautiful, and then suddenly like it gets covered. There's a thunderstorm for like an hour, and then it stops and goes back to being like sunny and happy. But then you go back home and your computer's fried because you forgot to turn it off before you went to work. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's something that just happened to me. But yeah, I do love Japan. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be here anymore. And I do want to share more about it with you guys. So eventually I'll, bring my camera. I don't have a camera anymore. I'll take videos with my phone and then I'll put my model on it. Anyway, I promise I'll show you cool stuff. At least I'll take pictures and put them on coffee or something. Anyway. Thank you so much for watching my reaction. I wasn't gonna watch all of this because, like, at the end, he's mostly talking about like things that are related only to him. But yeah, I don't dislike this video. I think he's right on a lot of stuff, and yeah, I completely agree with a lot of what he said. Yeah. So hopefully you enjoyed my feedback. Not my feedback, but like hopefully you enjoyed like my reaction and like everything I had to the subject. And yeah, that's probably like gonna be a super long video. So if you're still here, subscribe if you haven't. Oh my gosh. We'll talk a lot about other things and like about Japan and about other countries and like about gaming and then about like VTubers. We talk about a lot of that stuff here. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching my reaction. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you liked it, like it. If you want to see more, subscribe. Hey, I'm being a VTuber. Haha. And yeah, I will be back with more content for you soon. Thank you so much. I love you all, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.